Hi, everyone. We have some more questions coming up in our Meet Yourself, especially navigating midlife metabolism. And the question in this episode has to do with muscle mass. And we talked about, I'm going to read it to you. How does muscle mass affect my metabolism in midlife? And we know it slows it down, but how can I maintain it? And we'll talk about the best exercises to combat this loss of muscle mass. So let's first talk about what happens as we go through the change, whether it be perimenopause or we're changing menopause or postmenopause. Our body does indeed change with the change of hormones. And Dr. Laurell, do you have any insight on that? We have always talked about cortisol and stress. How does that
Yes.
affect our muscle mass? Does it indeed affect our muscle mass?
Oh, absolutely. So, as we go through menopause, we're more vulnerable to the impact of cortisol, the stress hormone. And among other things, when we have higher levels of cortisol, it is harder to maintain our muscle mass. And we know how important our muscles are to maintaining a healthy metabolism.
So would you say that cortisol can actually break down the muscle cells? I know when we're under stress, people lose muscle tissue and in a normal, and we're talking no changes here. So we do want to keep stress down, but it's also very hard without estrogen floating around. And what I have
Mhm.
found with exercise, because I have spent my life exercising, and even the exercise that I do now, I don't see the muscles building the way they used to.
Right.
But
Yes.
as I've said in another episode we did, I do a split routine now. I'll do something in the morning, and I believe timing is the key. And when we talk about Ayurvedic medicine or the things when I do consults with people, usually 6 to 10 in the morning, and then during the summer you can do 6 to 10 in the evening. But I like to do something in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, and doing my muscle training, or I shouldn't say my muscle training, but
Mhm.
my weight bearing exercise with some dumbbells. I'll do that in the evening. I also do explosive type of exercise because it really works with the short twitch fibers, which is really what we need to build those muscles. And then I will do my cardio in the morning, but I do it as a split
Mhm.
routine because it is hard. It's very difficult to maintain muscle mass. And you
Yes.
talk about, I didn't even know what a bat wing was, that people would say bat wings. And I'm thinking, oh, what's happening? How did I get a bat wing? I used to do mountaineering with poles. I walk with poles now, but the bat wings are still there and it's okay because I may need to fly away with them someday. And is there anything that we can do dietarily, do you think, with, I'll turn it to you, with feeding our muscles? People are
Sure.
doing these high protein diets thinking
Mhm.
that it's going to feed the muscle cell. But
Right.
what's your view on that? That's the way I should.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I believe in moderation, moderation in all things. So we don't need our diet to be excessive in any direction. We do need adequate protein. And if someone tolerates dairy products well, I do like whey protein. There have been studies showing that whey protein is better than some of the other proteins at helping us maintain muscle mass as we age. So that can be a good addition.
Do you think the whey is better than the egg white? Have you seen? I haven't done this. That's why I'm asking you.
Mhm.
Is there a research in comparison? Because when I remember when I studied the nutrition that I did, it was the egg white protein is the perfect. That's what they base all
Mhm.
other proteins on because of its availability within the human
Mhm.
organism.
Oh,
So
that's a good point. I can't say that I've seen a
yeah,
study that is
egg white two way.
comparing the two. And that's one of the challenges. We sometimes just have to make our best judgments based on our knowledge of all these biochemical attributes. So that is another protein that I like. But as far as the whey protein, it's probably some of the residual growth factors and other things that came from the milk that are supporting muscle mass.
Also, because I make my own cheese at times, paneer, and when I make the whey, I use that for cleansing my bladder, because we all know bladders
Mhm.
need to be cleansed, because I use lemon to make that, and it's also very
Mhm.
good. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, thanks. And so let's just sum it up by saying you can keep your muscle mass. People do it, studies do show even 70 plus, you can start to build muscle even. And we want to do weight bearing as well as cardiovascular. Again, like you had said, Laurell, balance, balance, balance. That's the key. And it's nothing
Mhm.
to be afraid of. Everything's in moderation. We can live a happy and healthy life. So until next time, please send your questions in. And if anyone wants to know how to connect with our community or Dr. Laurell and myself, please, you'll see all the notes underneath the video. Thanks again and see you soon.